This is the H5N1 bird flu update for December 16th through December 20th, 2024. There are now 64 human cases of H5N1 bird flu in the U.S. That number is up by 4. There are 4 new human cases in the U.S. One of the new cases is Iowa's first human case of the avian H5N1 flu. According to the Iowa Health and Human Services announcement, quote, the individual was exposed to infected poultry while working in a commercial flock in northwest Iowa. The individual reported mild symptoms, has received the appropriate treatment, and is recovering. A man in Louisiana is the state's first human case. He is seriously ill, and this is being positioned as the U.S.'s first severe case of bird flu. It is believed the man became infected working with a backyard flock of poultry. According to observers, there are similarities to the recent British Columbia, Canada case of a teen who remains in hospital unable to communicate. The man with H5N1 in Louisiana is described as, quote, the age of 65 and has had health conditions known to increase the risk of serious illness from influenza, unquote. A recent article in the KFF News, an independent nonprofit newsletter focused on public health policy, expressed concerns over the current U.S. handling of H5N1 outbreaks on factory farms. With the headline, How America Lost Control of the Bird Flu, Setting the Stage for Another Pandemic, unquote, it features the perspectives of Angela Rasmussen, a virologist of the University of Saskatchewan in Canada. Angela Rasmussen says this about the current state of outbreaks in the U.S., quote, we're in a terrible situation and going into a worse situation. I don't know if the bird flu will become a pandemic, but if it does, we are screwed. Another expert, Tom Peacock, a bird flu researcher at the Pirbright Institute in the United Kingdom, had this to say, quote, even if there's only a 5% chance of a bird flu pandemic happening, we're talking about a pandemic that probably looks like 2020 or worse. The U.S. knows the risk, but it hasn't done anything to slow this down. The H5N1 pandemic for birds has already impacted more than 13.8 million wild birds in Canada. This number is up slightly from the previous week's report. The CDC, Centers for Disease Control, report that 10,852 wild birds have been impacted by the H5N1 virus in the U.S. This number is up slightly since last week's report. More than 25 million poultry have been impacted. That means culled, killed, or died of the H5N1 virus. This number is up significantly since last week's report. "845 dairy herds are impacted by the H5N1 virus, meaning they have it, they're in outbreak, and either receiving treatment or have been culled or killed to avoid spread. This number remains unchanged since last week's report. "49 of the 50 U.S. states have outbreaks on poultry farms. This number is unchanged from last week's report. 16 states have outbreaks on dairy farms. This number is unchanged from last week's report. This is the wastewater monitoring map from the Centers for Disease Control, or CDC. You'll notice the burgundy circles here indicate H5N1 detection. This may be from human and or livestock detection. You'll note a cluster in Texas. Also, an outbreak was discovered in Oregon. This has been a quick look at the H5N1 bird flu situation in the US and Canada. Thanks so much for listening. If you like this video, click the like button, subscribe to my channel, and share this with a friend if you're looking for up-to-date information on the bird flu situation. Thanks so much for listening. Have a great day.